Hi, I'm Steve Morgan, founder of Cybersecurity Ventures and editor-in-chief at Cybercrime magazine. I'm here today with Hector Guillermo Martinez, president at GM Sectec. With operations in 50 countries worldwide and headquartered in San Juan, Puerto Rico, GM Sectec has over 50 years of service in the technology and security vertical. To learn more about our sponsor, GM Sectec, visit gmsectec.com. Also joining us is Eduardo Perez, Senior Vice President, Regional Risk Officer at Visa Latin America and Caribbean. To learn more about Visa, visit visa.com. Hector and Eduardo, welcome. Thank you both for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
Hi.
So one of my favorite topics is partnerships because we need them so desperately. Cybercrime fighting is all about bonding together. Hector, we've had you on with us before. I know that partnerships are very important to you, and the partnership between GM Sectec and Visa is a very special one. So can you give us a 30,000-foot view on the history between the two of you and the preferred cybersecurity partnership?
Sure thing, and thanks to Cybercrime magazine and Cybersecurity Ventures for the opportunity. And to your point, Steve, GM Sectec and the GM organization has had a long history in our space. As you know, we are up to our 52-year mark. We celebrated our 50th anniversary in 2020. And with Visa, we have a very special relationship. Over 40 years of a relationship with the company. We were once a payments processor, so we were born in the payments technology space, and we've evolved that relationship. So it's been a fantastic and really very close-knit relationship with Visa globally. And now I'm proud that as we're moving forward and looking towards the future, we have, with Eduardo Perez's leadership, we have signed a preferred partnership over the past couple of years where we're supporting the Visa ecosystem and the Visa system. So the relationship is stronger than ever. And our job here at GM Sectec is to support fintechs, to support issuers, to support acquirers. So really, really well aligned to Visa's mission of enabling and unlocking opportunities for everyone.
So Eduardo, if there's anything else you'd like to share about the relationship between GM Sectec and Visa, we'd like to hear it. And then would very much like to know about Visa's approach to security in a nutshell.
Absolutely, Steve, and thank you for the opportunity to be with you and your Cybercrime magazine audience. It's a pleasure to be with all of you today. And it's really a pleasure to be here with Hector today, who's representing, obviously, GM Sectec, our preferred partner for cybersecurity services in Latin America and the Caribbean. And really, we've had a partnership with GM and Hector that extends for many years. And in the last few years, we've focused on promoting GM Sectec as a preferred partner with all of our clients and ecosystem participants to promote awareness around cybersecurity best practices and good hygiene, and then also certainly promoting the good services that GM Sectec provides to our common clients in helping them secure their payment ecosystem and overall payment networks, if you will, Steve.
So Hector, Eduardo touched on awareness. Let's build on that. Your partnership with Visa has a key driver around cybersecurity enablement, awareness, and education. Talk to us about PaySec days and talks into 2022.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and thanks for that. Actually, this is an idea that Eduardo and his team and our team here at, I'm actually here at Visa Miami at their Latin America Caribbean headquarters. And a couple of years ago, we were here just having some conversations on how can we strengthen and provide better hygiene to Visa clients and customers. And Eduardo and team said, listen, why don't we put together this payment security day where we can go in country to the different countries in the geography and then provide awareness. What are the best practices? What are organizations that look at defense in depth? What are they doing, and how can we leverage that across all participants in the ecosystem? We started that in 2019. We did one in Chile, in Brazil, in Colombia, Mexico. 2020, as you know, we had a lot of plans. Unfortunately, we had that monkey wrench with the pandemic. But actually, it I think was positive because we transitioned into PaySec talks. So we took kind of a TED Talks approach to the PaySecs. We've had phenomenal participation from all participants in the system. Over 1,000 participants in Spanish, over 500 in Portuguese, over 400 in English. So really, really a great way to connect with our common customers and clients and really provide a visible view of the environment that they're operating in. Why is security important? Why should we think about confidentiality, integrity, and availability of an information asset? Typically, as you know, and the audience at Cybercrime Magazine knows, Steve, security is always reactive. The whole mission behind PaySec talks and PaySec days is the prevention. How can we prevent from having a bad day?
And you did have to slide in there that you're in Miami to make us jealous. We're here in New York. I know how beautiful it is there. In fact, one of my daughters goes to the University of Miami, so I wish I was there with you. Now, is that where you're located, Eduardo? Is that your home base?
Yeah, it's my home base here. I live in the Miami area. I live in Coral Gables, so go Hurricanes.
Yeah,
it's a great
wow,
university.
great. So I'm going to have to meet up with you, Eduardo, when I come down there again in a few months.
Yeah, I live a few, not that far from University of Miami. It's a beautiful university.
Okay, so we'll have coffee for sure?
Absolutely. You come down here, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. We'll go on campus and hang out.
Okay.
I know where the Starbucks is at.
Oh, looking forward. Okay. So I have to turn this maybe a little dark, although I hope there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Eduardo, talk to us a little bit about the pandemic. What has changed in your mind and why?
Steve, yes, the pandemic has affected us all, and it's certainly affected every industry, including the payments industry. A couple of the trends that we've seen over the last few years that are important for your audience to be aware of is that we've seen certainly payments become even more relevant and important during the pandemic. And they've accelerated some trends that were already well underway. A couple of the trends that I would mention to you and your audience is we are seeing a significant increase in the growth of contactless payments. And that's very important. Obviously, in the pandemic, individuals are more concerned with the things that they touch. And so contactless payments offers a way to pay without having to touch a terminal and pay quickly and securely and move on very quickly. The second trend that I would share, Steve, is that we've seen a dramatic shift, obviously, during the pandemic from what we call the card present space to the card not present space. Obviously, during lockdowns and during the period where people weren't going out as much, people looked to buy goods and services online and in more remote ways. For example, buying online and picking up products and services at store. So kind of touchless experiences. And then thirdly, what we saw that was interesting was a shift in the use of from credit to debit. Debit use grew dramatically during the pandemic, and we've seen it expand in terms of being used for both contactless transactions and for online and remote payments in every way, shape, and form. I think maybe another general point that I'd make to you, Steve, and your audience is that consumers are also looking for the most convenient and secure and easy ways to pay. And so there are a number of companies that we're partnering with in the ecosystem that are continually innovating to provide consumers the trust they need to buy goods and services in any way they want to.
So Hector, there's a tremendous amount of underlying technology and services to deliver on, a lot of what Eduardo is speaking to. Fintechs are an area of interest globally. How are you addressing their cyber defense requirements and enabling PCI fundamentals?
No, this is a great question. And this is also something that we've actually had multiple conversations on because there's been this barrage of fintechs disrupting the ecosystem across the fold, right, all over the world. And there's this need and interest and appetite to look at the payment system, right? The payment system, how do we pay for goods and services? So one of the areas that we inked in our collaboration agreement between Visa and GM Sectec is how can GM Sectec be an innovation accelerator? How can we help kickstart and how can we help accelerate that journey to innovation with responsible innovation, right? Responsible innovation by leveraging GM Sectec tools, techniques, procedures in providing that level of trust. At the end of the day, we believe that our mission as a cyber defense business is providing trust to all participants of the system. So that's really what we're doing, Steve. We're providing a layer of trust to the system by helping them with things like PCI DSS, right? PCI DSS, if you are not in the payments industry, it's still a good practice. It's been around for a very long time. It's always changing. We're in version 3.2.1. We're moving to version 4.0. It's I would say the granddaddy, so to speak, in information security. And Visa has been obviously a leader in that space, one of the founders of the PCI Council. So a very, very important baseline for those fintechs and for all those new entrants in the system. The other area which has been fantastic, Steve, and also with Eduardo's leadership and support, is the level 3 and level 4 merchants, right? So the way that the brands categorize merchants is based on the amount of transactions, 3 and 4 being the smaller merchants. Now, we know that during the pandemic, there's been a rush to go to e-commerce, right? Card not present. There are new risks, there are new vulnerabilities, there are new threats that appear, of course, in the e-commerce world that perhaps a small merchant who sells a pizza, a pizza shop or something more simple, right? Smaller, small, medium business that they're not aware of. So our mission is really to support that rush to new ways of providing goods and services in a trustworthy way.
So, Eduardo, Hector's talking about trust. You touched on it before. Is there anything more difficult than earning consumers' trust? I mean, I have a Visa card. I'm a Visa customer. I trust the brand. They have a great reputation, but you have to continuously earn that trust. Next month, next year, it's an ongoing process. Is that a major challenge for you?
It's a challenge and an opportunity, Steve, and we take that stewardship of promoting trust in our payment system and payment ecosystem very seriously. Absolutely. I will tell you that we spend a lot of time and effort and energy and invest a lot in maintaining both the trust of what we call buyers in our ecosystem and sellers in our ecosystem. And so we're constantly thinking about how do we make payments easy, convenient, and secure so that they can focus on their core business. And that's really where we focus on two key areas that we continue to strive towards and executing to maintain and grow trust in our payment ecosystem. The first one is in enabling partners and buyers and sellers to adopt new solutions that are inherently more secure. And a couple of examples there are certainly one of the functionalities that your card has, Steve, is that today, increasingly, you're able to use a chip card at the terminal, either in contact or contactless form, and that's a very secure transaction. And we're also now, given the trends that we're seeing and accelerating trends of remote payments, we're also focused on ensuring that we're enabling e-commerce and remote payments the same way that we've enabled effectively and securely card-present payments. And there, a couple of the technologies that we're really promoting is the adoption of 3D Secure, or Visa Secure, as we call it from a Visa product offering, and also tokenization. That's going to allow and enable partners to use a token instead of the primary card number to transact with their customer in a secure manner. The other pillar of our strategy, and this is why I'm so happy to be here with Hector and GM Sectec, is protecting our environment. And there we're partnering with GM Sectec because security fundamentals will continue to be relevant from now and through eternity, very likely. And so there we're partnering with GM to help them enable as well and help our clients protect themselves by adopting standards like PCI and ensuring that they meet those minimum standards to secure their payment environment in particular. But as we know, many of those standards apply more holistically to entities' overall systems. And so those are good security principles and standards to apply across the board. And what we've seen is that entities that continually strive to meet those standards become less vulnerable to being attacked and suffering a cybersecurity event, or that they're very quickly able to recover and mitigate the event, even if they are attacked.
So, Hector, you've been on our media before, so you know the audience spans from Fortune 500, Global 2000 CISOs and security leaders, all the way down to small and mid-sized businesses. So, speaking to that audience, to build on what Eduardo just touched on, 3DS and tokenization, what can you share?
Sure, no, absolutely. And to Eduardo's point, those technologies are key to not only reducing scope in, let's say, a PCI assessment, but really for if a bad guy gets in, to Eduardo's point, if recovering quickly, that there's nothing valuable that they can steal. I think that's an objective. Tokenization helps us, again, accelerates that journey to ensure that our risk exposure is less, right? And that's really what we do here at GM Sectec. When we're providing our cybersecurity assessments, when we're providing monitoring 24/7, 365 on the card not present side, on the card present side, even with the fintechs who are getting into crypto, right? Crypto is another space which Visa, in the most recent earnings announcement, they're leaning more into the crypto space, right? And we're looking at that very effectively. Again, we do that on the digital forensic side on ransomware payments when we do the full circle of incident response and digital forensics. But now we're seeing an opportunity where we can also provide, again, more trust to more traditional financial institutions, to fintechs who want to lean into the crypto space but do not have visibility. Things like know your transaction, know your virtual asset service provider. Those are all key themes, which I believe, and we believe here at GM Sectec, that they will grow in much more necessity as the crypto space gets more regulated. We believe that it will get in some way, shape, or form regulated, and that level of surveillance or visibility of trust is going to be key. So at GM Sectec, as we look towards the future, we are certainly looking at ways to have that responsible innovation, and at the same time looking at the new ways that people are looking to transact and have digital goods, whether it's in the real world or in the metaverse.
So, Eduardo, the fastest growing cybercrime that we've tracked for the past 3 years has been ransomware. And Hector just touched on crypto crime. If you go to cryptocrime.com, you'll see that we have a special feed there now because we're tracking that as the second fastest type of cybercrime and something that we're very concerned with. What are you seeing if you look ahead the rest of this year, looking ahead into next year? What are the threats that you're most concerned with?
Yes, Steve, certainly, as you note, ransomware is something that's top of mind for entities across the economy. That's something that we continually look to support our clients and broader ecosystem participants, again, through the partnership with GM Sectec to do broader awareness and through our PASEC talks to create awareness around those best practices and standards that apply to mitigate ransom events and also to quickly recover from ransom events. One of the points that we're also promoting is obviously for entities to be resilient and for them to back up their operations appropriately, whether they back them up in the cloud or in another means so that they can quickly recover from those events and not have to be in an unfortunate situation where they're relying on paying a ransom in order to resume operations. So in addition to good security hygiene, it's also important increasingly for companies to back themselves up and back up their systems so that they can recover quickly. And that's a growing area of focus for all companies to be able to be resilient and resume their operations as quickly as possible. So ransomware is one of them. Certainly we continue to work with our partners and clients to educate buyers and sellers around common phishing events and other attacks where criminals may try to find gaps in our system that we're constantly vigilant and monitoring for to block any potential attacks that could occur against our participants and clients and buyers and sellers in our ecosystem, Steve.
And do you also spend time talking about crypto crime? I know it's emerging. It's still something that a lot of us are trying to understand. Just the platforms, the exchanges, the wallets. It's moving so quickly right now.
Yeah, Steve, one of the things that we're doing in the crypto space is we have crypto preferred partners and exchanges that we've been partnering with. And there, a good amount of our focus in partnering with those entities is, again, bringing some of the same fundamentals that we've applied historically to other payment types and the transference and use of payments for other assets to the crypto space. And so we're actively working there and, again, partnering with GM Sectec and other entities to bring trust to those types of payments where somebody wants to buy a cryptocurrency and then wants to exchange it for fiat currency so that they're able to effectively and securely use it in our ecosystem. So we have a number of partnerships that we continue to work on, and I'm very optimistic that we're going to be able to continue to grow trust in the crypto space through our partnerships as well.
So before the two of you leave, I'd like both of you to share a parting message, and it could be for consumers, small businesses, large enterprises, governments, whoever you'd like to speak to. They're all listening to us. So Hector, we'll go with you first.
Sure. No, and thanks again for the opportunity. I know that Cybercrime Magazine has been tracking us for some time. We're looking forward to the 2022 version of your next listing, and we've been proud continuing company. And we're obviously privileged to be in the group of companies that are reviewed and are looked at from your editors and your editor team. And that goes the same thing with partners like Visa, right? Visa means trust, right? Visa is leader in payments worldwide. So we're privileged to be Visa's preferred cybersecurity partner. There's so much happening in this space that we are also looking at ways of how we can continue supporting Visa's needs with our subject matter expertise. So that's the direction we're looking at doing our payments, PaySec Talks 2022 this year. Once again, I believe we're going to start in about 2 months' time. And again, taking that message, evangelizing that message to the market of ensuring that prevention is a core tenet of all entities in the payment system.
You stole a little bit of my thunder there, Hector, but that's okay. As we close out, I did want to mention and was going to at the end of this segment that GM Sectec, a company we've been tracking now for, I think, over 5 years, for the third straight year, is listed on our annual Hot 150 cybersecurity companies, and that's global. It's a major achievement, and it's something that has to be earned every year. So kudos to you and to your team, Hector. We really appreciate your contributions to the industry. And I think you're maybe not even a handful. Somebody else would have to tell me who else has been in this space for 50 years and has the DNA that you do. So Eduardo, any parting words you'd like to share?
Steve, thank you for the opportunity to be with you and your audience today. What I would like to share is that Visa is very focused on continuing to promote and grow trust in our payment system. And our focus is going to continue to be on enabling secure payments through innovative technologies like authentication solutions that we've developed as an industry, and in our case with the services that we provide to our partners. And we're also focused and feel very fortunate that we're able to partner with GM Sectec to promote the other main pillar of our strategy, which is to protect those entities in our ecosystem that are involved in the payment chain. And so we take that very seriously, as I noted, and we're going to continue to really focus at Visa on enabling and protecting our payment ecosystem participants, buyers and sellers, so that they can transact everywhere, every way, and any way they want to pay.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on with us, Eduardo. Visa has a great reputation, but being such a big brand, and I'm sure being stretched, I'm sure a lot of media are in contact with you. There's only so often you get to see the people behind the operation, and meeting you today, it's apparent why they have that type of reputation. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Morgan, founder of Cybersecurity Ventures and editor-in-chief at Cybercrime magazine. Joining us today was Hector Guillermo Martinez, president at GM Sectec. With operations in 50 countries worldwide and headquartered in San Juan, Puerto Rico, GM Sectec has over 50 years of service in the technology and security vertical. To learn more about our sponsor, GM Sectec, visit gmsectec.com. Also joining us was Eduardo Perez, Senior Vice President, Regional Risk Officer at Visa Latin America and Caribbean. To learn more about Visa, visit visa.com. You can keep up with all of our media at cybercrimemagazine.com.